Good morning. Today I want to talk to you about domestic violence, what it is, how you can be charged with domestic violence, and how my office can help you. Domestic violence is one of the, I would say probably one of the top 5 most common charges that we represent people for. Domestic violence is not a specific charge. It's a designation that can attach to many different charges. For instance, there's the classic domestic violence where if you make physical contact or you slap, you punch, you push a significant other, that could be domestic violence. But there are several different other types. Let's talk about how it falls under domestic violence. So what the relationship has to be. So under the Arizona law, to be charged with domestic violence, you have to inflict the harm upon a spouse, a relative, a roommate, somebody that you've had sexual relationships with. So that's the relationship that needs to be established in order to move forward with domestic violence. But the different types of charges that you could be facing are the classic assault, so assault with the domestic violence. One of the more common ones that we get, especially at the ASU, for ASU students around the Tempe area, disorderly conduct and criminal damage. So for instance, I have 2 roommates, they're yelling at each other, or a boyfriend, they're yelling at each other, the neighbors call the police respond, they get charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct with the domestic violence designation. The other very common one that we represent people for is criminal damage with the domestic violence designation. And let's look at that scenario again. I've got a boyfriend and girlfriend get into an argument, and boyfriend punches the wall. And so the girlfriend calls the police, or the neighbor calls the police respond, they see a hole in the wall, boom, criminal damage with the domestic violence designation. Or we see a lot of girlfriend gets boyfriend's phone, or vice versa, and takes it and smashes it. Well, criminal damage with domestic violence designation. So as you can see, there's disorderly conduct, there's criminal damage, there's the most common assault, and those are all going to be classified as domestic violence if the victim falls into that domestic violence relationship. And so what to expect? Well, if you're convicted of domestic violence, it is a class 1 misdemeanor, so you'll have the criminal conviction on your record. You'll be on probation. You'll have to go through about 6 months of domestic violence counseling. It's a huge pain. What my office does for our clients in Tempe and Scottsdale, as well as through all the other courts in the state of Arizona, but a lot of our domestic violence happens to be in Tempe and Scottsdale. We get involved with the case. We sit down with the prosecutor's office. We flesh out the details of not only the facts of the case, but more information about our clients. What is the relationship? How can we help them? Why this was a one-time occurrence? Why this was a misunderstanding? There's never been any history of abuse. There's never been any history of domestic violence. How can we get this charge dismissed or reduced? If you are convicted of domestic violence, you'll have that domestic violence designation on your record. It may prevent you from being a teacher. It may prevent you from getting any type of meaningful employment. You'll lose your gun rights. So there's a lot of things, even though some people may say, well, it's just a misdemeanor. Well, yeah, but the consequences that come with domestic violence are serious, and you will lose a lot of your rights. Plus you'll have the stigma anytime somebody runs your background check of having that domestic violence. People are going to look down upon that. They're not going to know that maybe you punched a wall, maybe you broke a cell phone, maybe you were shouting. They're going to think the worst. They're going to think the classic example: you hit your girlfriend, you punched your boyfriend or your husband, whatever it may be. So your life can really be impacted. There's a tremendous amount of things that we can do for our clients about getting the charges dismissed or reduced. Give us a call, whether you're interested in hiring a lawyer or you just want free legal advice. It'd be my pleasure to speak with you. Call us directly, 602-980-1987.